So if a nigga caught a body on some self-defense shit, he's not a killer.
Hell nah.
No,
you had to protect yourself. You was scared for your life. So if you didn't shoot that gun, your ass was gonna die.
If you ain't with us, you against us, bitch. It ain't no middle. Blood in, blood out. That's just how I'm living. If you get snatched.
Imagine two families standing in the rain, mourning two teenagers lost to a concrete war. While the Chicago police were still taping off the crime scene of a brutal daylight ambush, the world was about to learn the name of the man behind the trigger. Jeffrey Harris Jr., known to the streets as Lil Jeff, once said in an interview, "I took my loss and moved on." But in the heart of Chicago's East Side, moving on usually involves a drum mag and a stolen car. Born July 14, 2002, Jeff was raised in the shadow of the 79th and Maryland trenches. His father, Jeffrey Sr., was a high-ranking member of the 068 C Block set, but he spent more time in a cell than at the dinner table. This left Jeff to follow his older brother, Jay Boogie. By age 10, Jeff wasn't playing with toys. He was watching the internal mechanics of the Drill City and Flipside Alliance. At just 11 years old, Jeff witnessed his first murder. At 14, his childhood ended when rivals sprayed his house with gunfire and set it ablaze. He later described the sound of bullets whistling past his face, like it was just another Tuesday. There was a moment when it could have all been different. Jeff was a star athlete at Curry High, pouring his soul into basketball. But during his senior year, when he was cut from the varsity team, the trajectory of his life shifted forever. He said it himself. When the gym doors locked, the doors to the street swung wide open. Fresh out of high school with a diploma and no prospects, Jeff pledged his loyalty to the Bloodhound Coalition. He didn't just join the war. He became its most terrifying protagonist. By 2022, he wasn't being talked about for his punchlines or metaphors. He was being talked about because the violence in his lyrics matched the police reports on the news. The spark that turned a rivalry into a massacre was a simple gold chain. Jeff allegedly took a piece of jewelry from a Trap City member, lied about losing it in a police chase, and then wore it in a music video. That snake move ended a 10-year alliance. On March 16, 2023, Trap City retaliated by executing Jeff's cousin, Z Money, hitting him 29 times. From that day on, Jeff became a ghost. He and his associate Q50 tattooed Z Money's name on their trigger fingers, a literal mark of vengeance. Weeks later, a man named Pooh from Trap City was found dead in front of his home. Jeff immediately hit the studio, rapping about waiting outside someone's house to bust his dome. Then came Jalil, killed in the back of a lift. The driver remembered Jalil's final word was a quiet, "okay," before he slumped over. By early 2024, Jeff was a rising star. He signed with Lil Bibby's Grade A label and walked out for a televised fight with boxing champ Gervonta Davis. He was inches away from the exit, but the streets have a way of pulling you back. Two associates from the West Side, Monty and Lil Rob, made the fatal mistake of stealing Jeff's jewelry and mocking him on Instagram. 6 days later, as they walked out of Innovations High School for lunch, 4 gunmen stepped out of 2 vehicles. It was a bloodbath. Both teens collapsed near the elevators. Just 15 minutes after the hit, Jeff was on social media, filming himself in a stolen car, laughing about the 30 seconds of fame his rivals received. Jeff eventually started posting 12 skull emojis on his stories, representing a body count that included hits in Milwaukee and rivals like Lil Gudda and Black. He was becoming a legend, but he was also becoming a target. On June 8, 2024, Jeff decided to go on one last mission. He spotted an old rival named Glenn in Trap City territory. Jeff jumped out of the car, chasing Glenn toward a house. But this time, the hunters were the hunted. As Jeff reached the porch, a barrage of return fire erupted from the door. 19 bullets struck Jeff, ending the life of the 21-year-old rapping hitman on the same pavement he tried to claim. 58 shell casings were recovered from the scene. The man who shot him was later released on self-defense. In the end, Jeff wasn't just a rapper or a shooter. He was a reminder of the deadly price of the cycle he couldn't outrun.